Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling high-performance habits. We're looking at those conscious practices, the things that really propel extraordinary people.
Exactly. We've dug into the research, and it's not about some, secret talent you're born with. It's about things you can actually learn and do.
Right. Actions. And the great thing, the really encouraging part for you listening, is that this isn't some exclusive club. These habits, anyone can develop them.
That's the core message. It's accessible.
Okay, so our mission today is pretty straightforward. Cut through all the hype, give you the essentials of these habits, a kind of practical guide maybe to boost your own performance.
Yeah, not by just trying harder, but by focusing on what actually works, what moves the needle.
And the research points to 6 main areas, these sort of interconnected meta habits.
Seek clarity, generate energy, raise necessity, increase productivity, develop influence, and demonstrate courage. 6 key things.
And what's really interesting is how they link together. Like getting better at one can actually pull the others up too.
Absolutely. There's a real synergy there. And it's not just about, getting more done. The sources suggest these habits also lead to being happier, more engaged, more confident.
Okay, so more than just achievement. Let's start with the first one then. Seeking clarity. What's the heart of that?
Well, clarity isn't something that just happens to you. It's an active thing. You have to intentionally define who you want to become, how you're going to treat people, what actually gives your life meaning.
So you need to really think about it. It doesn't just appear.
No, definitely not. It needs mindful thought, asking yourself some pretty big questions, honestly.
It sounds like it's more than just, writing a to-do list.
Oh, much more. Goals are part of it, sure, but clarity goes deeper, into your identity, your values. One source directly links it to self-esteem. Knowing yourself, priorities, weaknesses, strengths, where you're headed, that's crucial.
That makes sense. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there, or nowhere specific. The idea of envisioning your future self comes up. What's that about?
Right, the future self. It's powerful because it's not just about having a target. It's more about creating a filter for your decisions right now.
A filter. How so?
Well, high performers focus on who they're becoming. So you ask yourself, does this choice, this action, move me closer to that future self I envision? Or does it push me further away?
Oh, okay. So it guides your present actions based on a future ideal. Less static, more dynamic. The material mentions picking 3 words. Inspirational words.
Yeah, 3 words to define that future self. It helps distill it, makes it concrete. These words then become guiding principles for your day-to-day, a tangible ideal to aim for.
I like that. And clarity isn't just personal, right? It applies to how we interact with others too.
Absolutely. High performers are really intentional about how they show up for other people. They decide consciously, okay, I want to be supportive or I want to be a good leader here. It's about thinking about the impact you want to have.
So anticipating the effect of your interactions.
Exactly. And setting an intention. Think about, how you want your partner or your kids to describe you in 20 years. Then start embodying those qualities now.
Aligning present behavior with future ideals again. Okay.
Yeah.
What about skills? How does clarity play there?
Well, high performers tend to specialize. They don't try to be okay at everything. They laser focus on the key skills that really matter in their field.
So less generalization, more deep expertise.
Precisely. They identify those critical skills and then create actual plans to develop them. Specific plans, timelines, milestones, not just I want to get better at X.
And they look ahead too.
Yes, that's key. They anticipate what skills will be needed down the road and start working on them proactively. It's strategic.
Got it. Strategic skill building and clarity in service. What that mean?
It's about relentlessly asking, how can I provide the most value? Whether it's to clients, your team, your audience, what truly makes a difference for them.
And then focusing your effort there.
Exactly. Prioritizing those high-impact activities and consciously cutting out the stuff that doesn't really add value.
That sounds like it connects to finding meaning.
It definitely does. But before meaning, there's this interesting idea of willful feeling.
Willful feeling.
Yeah. It's about recognizing the difference between that first gut reaction, the sort of physical emotion, and the feeling you consciously choose to embrace and label it as.
So you can choose your feeling, not just react.
That's the idea. High performers understand they can actively select the feelings that will support their goals. Say you feel nervous before a big meeting, that's the raw emotion.
Okay.
A high performer might consciously reframe that. Label it excitement or anticipation. That's the willful feeling. It shifts the energy.
Interesting. So you identify the feeling you want for a situation and cultivate it.
Exactly. Reflect on what feeling would serve you best and practice bringing it forth.
Okay.
And then there's clarity on what's meaningful.
Right, meaning what's the high performance take?
They tend to link meaning to things like enthusiasm, real connection with people, satisfaction from accomplishment, passion for the work, growth, contributing something valuable. These things create coherence, purpose.
And the challenge for us, for you,
is to pinpoint what activities actually give you those feelings. And, just as important, be willing to stop doing the things that drain you or feel meaningless.
Okay, so clarity is this ongoing process.
Yeah.
Self-questioning, designing how you want to be. Let's shift to the second habit, generating energy. We all know energy is important, but what's the specific focus here?
Beyond the obvious like sleep and diet, which are vital, high performers are very active in managing their energy throughout the day. Low energy just kills everything, enthusiasm, competence, influence.
Right, it drags you down.
But high energy, it's a multiplier. You see it in top CEOs, executives, they have this incredible mental stamina, sustained energy.
It's not just having it, but managing it. Any key strategies?
One big one is consciously releasing tension, especially during transitions between tasks or meetings.
Transitions, like finishing one call and starting another.
Exactly, those little moments. If you carry stress from one to the next, it drains you. The release technique is simple but effective. Pause, close your eyes, deep breath, and as you exhale, mentally say, release. Let the tension go.
And
then set an intention for the energy you want to bring to the next thing. Positive, focused, whatever you need.
like hitting a reset button between activities.
Okay.
The outline also mentions bringing the joy. How does that fit with energy?
It's huge. Positive emotions are energy boosters. High performers don't wait for joy to happen, they create it.
Well,
Through lots of small intentional acts, setting intentions for joy each day, expecting positive outcomes, mentally rehearsing how they'll handle stress positively, actively looking for moments of wonder or appreciation.
so they're proactively cultivating positivity.
Very proactively, guiding conversations toward good feelings, regularly practicing gratitude. Brendon Burchard actually suggests 3 daily questions.
Yeah, what are they?
What am I excited about today? What might stress me out, and how can I handle it well? And who can I show appreciation to or thank today?
Simple but powerful. And the idea of mental triggers.
Yeah, that's another technique. Link everyday things. Your phone alarm, walking through a door, waiting in line to a conscious reminder to feel joy or appreciation. You create your own triggers.
Making positivity a habit, basically. And of course, we can't ignore basic health.
No way. The sources really hammer this home. Your physical health, exercise, nutrition, sleep is fundamental to energy and productivity. Trying to save time by skipping workouts or sleep, it's a terrible trade-off for high performance.
Pulse economy.
Totally. Get a checkup, talk to experts, build consistent routines. Strength training, cardio, flexibility, healthy eating, they're non-negotiable.
Right. Energy is physical, mental, emotional, the whole package. Okay, let's move to the third habit. Raising necessity. This feels like it taps into motivation on a deeper level.
It really does. Necessity is that powerful force, internal and external, that turns something from a nice-to-do into a must-do. It's fueled by who you are, your identity, and a real sense of urgency.
What drives it from the inside? The internal forces.
Internally, it often comes down to really high personal standards, a deep satisfaction from doing excellent work. High performers often develop this healthy obsession with their craft.
Healthy obsession.
Yeah, not destructive, but an intense focus and drive for mastery. So you need to ask yourself, what are my standards really? Am I cultivating that healthy obsession for what matters most to me?
And the external forces. How do they build necessity?
Externally, it's about consciously taking on commitments and feeling a real sense of responsibility to others. Knowing people are counting on you, accountability is huge. Regular check-ins or evaluations increase that feeling. High performers are often driven by serving others' needs.
That makes sense. The pressure isn't just internal. The outline distinguishes real deadlines from false ones.
Yes. Crucial distinction. Real deadlines have actual consequences if you miss them. False ones are often just arbitrary dates. High performers focus on what has real impact and respect those critical deadlines and other people's time.
Focus on the stuff with real stakes. The practice, know who needs your game, seems to tap right into that external pressure.
It's super powerful. When you clearly picture who is depending on you to bring your best, right now your team, your family, your clients, it creates this immediate, compelling reason to deliver.
It makes it personal. Flow state is mentioned here too. How does that connect to necessity?
Flow, that feeling of being totally immersed and energized, right? It often happens when the challenge level is high but matched to your skills and you get immediate feedback. In that state, the necessity to perform at your peak feels completely natural, almost demanded by the task itself.
The activity pulls it out of you.
Okay.
And affirming the why. How does that sustain necessity?
High performers are crystal clear on why they're doing what they're doing. There are reasons. And they remind themselves and often tell others about those reasons regularly.
Why tell others?
It adds another layer of accountability, of social pressure almost. It reinforces the commitment. So define your big goals, know your why, maybe share it with people you trust, and use affirmations to keep that why front and center.
Got it. Keep the purpose alive. Lastly, for necessity, level up your squad. How does your social circle fit in?
Oh, it's huge. The people you spend time with. Their standards rub off on you. If you hang around people who accept mediocrity, your own standards might slip.
But if you surround yourself with high performers?
Exactly. Seek out mentors, role models, peers who operate at a high level. Their example raises your own sense of what's necessary, what's possible. Their norm becomes your target.
Like raising the average. Okay, let's pivot to increasing productivity. The term used is PQO.
Yes, prolific quality output. The emphasis is on quality output, the stuff that really matters, produced efficiently, not just being busy, not just volume for volume's sake.
Quality over quantity, efficiently produced. How do you figure out what your PQO is?
That's the first practice. Figure out your PQO. Identify the most valuable outputs in your role or field. What actually creates the most impact? Then, dedicate the lion's share of your work time. The source suggests aiming for at least 60% to creating that.
60%. That requires cutting out distractions.
Absolutely. You have to be ruthless with distractions, procrastination, even perfectionism if it stops you from delivering the valuable output.
Okay, identify the gold, spend most of your time mining it. What about chart your 5 moves?
This helps you operationalize that focus. Break down your big goals into, say, 5 key projects or activities, the essential moves you need to make. Give them deadlines.
Just 5.
Yeah, keeps it focused. Then you schedule specific protected blocks of time for deep work on those 5 moves, making sure they align with your PQO.
Simplify, prioritize, protects the time. Got it. And the last productivity practice, get insanely good at key skills, feels connected to clarity again.
It is, but with a productivity focus. It's about mastering the skills that directly enable your PQO. It's a cycle. Choose a skill, set stretch goals, find the meaning in mastering it, identify success factors, visualize success.
Schedule focused practice, measure progress.
Learn from the best, get feedback, and keep raising the bar. It's deliberate, progressive mastery aimed at boosting your high-quality output.
A structured approach to getting better where it counts most. Okay, let's talk influence.
High performance isn't usually a solo act.
Rarely. Influence here means positively shaping how others think, challenging them to grow, and being someone they want to emulate.
The first practice is teach people how to think. That sounds big.
It's less about telling them what to think and more about guiding how they approach things, helping them develop perspective on themselves, on others, on challenges, empowering their own thinking process.
More coaching than directing? Exactly. Mentorship guidance. Then there's challenging people to grow. How is that done effectively? It's about actively fostering their development, their character, their connections, their contributions. You do this by providing clear direction, giving honest feedback, the good and the bad, setting high expectations, and creating real opportunities for them to stretch and learn.
So it's supportive but demanding in a good way.
Yes, pushing them towards their potential. And finally, the foundation of influence. Be a great role model.
Lead by example.
Pretty much. It's the most powerful way. When you consistently live the qualities and habits you admire, including these high-performance habits we're discussing, you naturally inspire people. Actions speak volumes.
Walk the talk. Okay, last meta habit. Demonstrate courage. What does courage look like in this context? It's not just running into burning buildings, right?
No, usually not. Here, courage is about acting decisively toward a goal that matters, even when it's risky, or people oppose you, or you're uncertain. It can be taking action, but it can also be the courage to step back, to persevere, to make a tough call.
Okay, first practice. Honor your struggle. What's that about?
It's fundamentally about adopting a growth mindset. Seeing difficulties not as roadblocks, but as necessary parts of the journey, as opportunities to learn and get stronger.
So embrace the challenge.
Yeah, face it head on, plan how you'll navigate it, and look for the positive lessons within it. Don't shy away from the struggle, learn from it.
Reframe adversity. Okay. Second, share your truth and ambitions. That sounds potentially scary.
It can feel vulnerable, for sure. But the idea is that expressing your authentic self, your real feelings, beliefs, goals, without being paralyzed by fear of judgment is incredibly freeing and empowering.
How do you manage the fear?
Seek out people who support your authenticity, your role models, and maybe consciously let go of relationships that diminish you or make you feel you have to hide. Practice small acts of brave self-expression daily.
Vulnerability as a source of strength. Interesting. And the last, courage practice. Find someone to fight for.
This taps into external motivation again. When you deeply care about someone else, your family, your team, a cause, it can give you immense courage. You act bravely, not just for yourself, but for them.
It makes the stakes higher, but in a motivating way.
Exactly. It shifts the focus outwards and provides a powerful why for being courageous.
Okay, so those are the 6 habits. But the sources also warn about some traps, things that can trip up even high performers.
Yes, 3 big ones: superiority, dissatisfaction, and neglect. And interestingly, these are often more dangerous in the long run than, say, fear or lack of competence.
Right, the subtle dangers. Let's unpack superiority. What does that look like?
It's that creeping feeling that you're just better. You start dismissing advice, expecting people to just follow your lead, blaming others when things go wrong, being certain you have all the answers.
The antidote.
Humility. Actively seek feedback, especially critical feedback. Have mentors who keep you grounded. Remember times you failed. Stay curious. Ask questions instead of just stating opinions. Practice gratitude for others' contributions. Maybe reflect. When did I recently dismiss someone's idea? Could I reframe that with humility?
Stay teachable. Okay, second trap. Dissatisfaction. Isn't some dissatisfaction good for driving improvement?
A little ambition is healthy, yes. But this is about chronic dissatisfaction. Never feeling content, always chasing the next thing, unable to appreciate successes. It robs you of peace of mind and can lead to burnout or unhealthy perfectionism.
How do you counter that?
Consciously focus on the positive, practice gratitude, deliberately journaling, maybe sharing appreciations with your family or team, and learn to distinguish between satisfaction, appreciating the present, and settling, which means giving up on growth. Look at areas you're often unhappy with and find the good that is there.
Find contentment in the journey, not just the destination.
Yep.
And the third trap, neglect.
This happens when you get so laser focused on one area, usually work, that other important parts of life, health, relationships, rest, start to wither. You become kind of oblivious, or you overreach, trying to do everything, and things break down.
The classic burnout path.
Often, yes. The solution is conscious balance. Recognize all key life areas need attention. Set boundaries. Strategize your time allocation across areas, not just within work. Learn to say no effectively. Plan your whole day, including rest and connection, not just your work tasks. Ask yourself, what am I neglecting? Where am I overcommitted?
Sustained success needs a whole life approach, not just professional focus. The sources also mention confidence, congruence, and connection as keys to sustained performance.
Absolutely. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's belief in your ability to figure things out, often built on competence you've earned through practice. Congruence is living in alignment with your values, your best self. It creates integrity and inner strength. And connection, positive relationships provide support, perspective, and joy.
So these aren't habits, but maybe outcomes or supporting states.
Kind of, yeah. They're qualities that both result from the habits and help you maintain them, especially through challenges and avoiding those traps. Confidence helps you handle setbacks. Congruence keeps you motivated authentically. Connection keeps you grounded and supported.
It all ties together. Okay, let's try to summarize this. We've journeyed through 6 key habits high performers cultivate. Seek clarity.
Generate energy. Raise necessity.
Increase productivity. Develop influence.
And demonstrate courage. And we've also looked at those 3 sneaky traps to watch out for: superiority, dissatisfaction, and neglect.
Right. And the big picture seems to be that high performance isn't magic. It's about consciously, consistently focusing your energy and attention on what truly matters to create results you care about.
Exactly. It's an intentional, ongoing process.
So for you listening, maybe the first step is just to pause and think. What's one single insight or maybe one practice from everything we've talked about that resonates most? What's one thing you could start doing, even in a small way, starting today or tomorrow?
Yeah, just pick one. And maybe a final thought to mull over. Looking at those 6 habits again, clarity, energy, necessity, productivity, influence, courage, which one, if you intentionally strengthened it just a bit, do you feel could create the biggest positive shift in your life right now? That might be your best starting point.